It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by AgileDad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. Rare things happen sometimes. I found this author that I read yesterday from called Sander Durr, and he talked about the 7 things we should do during sprint planning. He has another article that I just discovered called The 8 Things You Should Do in Your Sprint Review. Now, normally I'm not one to stick to one author, but this guy's getting my week this week because, well, he did a fantastic job on this article as well. So, Sander is a professional scrum trainer for scrum.org, and here is what he had to say about the sprint review. He said, oftentimes sprint review is referred to as sprint demo. Now, for clarification, if you've taken an AgileDad class, I do separate the two out. I say that the review is the internal package where the team meets with the product owner to prepare for the demo, and the actual demo is the physical presentation. But oftentimes, the sprint review and demo are bundled together and called the review. So it's totally cool. The review, in his eyes, is the part where the team demonstrates what they've done during the sprint. So he's referring to the actual demo. And I feel like sometimes when we go into these demos, we forget the purpose. And there's all these different situational things that happen. Either, oh my goodness, I can't believe we didn't get this done, or oh, we got so much done, but it wasn't the right thing, or oh my goodness, we're getting asked to pivot in a different direction. People are often fearful of showing, or they fear that the people who are coming are just going to say, yeah, same old, right? So, how do we put it into perspective, and what are some of the things that we should be doing during our review? All right, well, here we go. Coming in at number 1. Put the product in the hands of your user or stakeholders as much as possible. Yes, yes, yes. If you can let them drive and let them show you how those things work and make sure they understand and make sure the UI is implicit and that it allows you to see how that increment is being used. I think there's a huge benefit there, right? Because then it gets people excited. It's almost like the whole theory about if you test drive a car when you go to a car dealership, you're more likely to buy it. Same theory, right? If you test drive a product, you're going to be more likely to be happy. Number 2, gather feedback. I know I've been to demos before where it felt like a presidential, announcement of some kind, where the president comes in and announces things that are going on, and then at the end of the interview says, "And thank you, no more. There'll be no questions," and the president just walks off. I don't want it to be that way. I want your stakeholders to have an opportunity to ask questions, to figure out what's going on, so you can gather feedback, so you can pivot if necessary. I think that's a great opportunity that oftentimes we just straight up miss out on. Coming in at number 3 is be sure to show progress relative to the product goal. I can't emphasize this one enough. Our focus shouldn't be on just output. How many widgets do we create? We shouldn't be showing, small scale reporting and stuff like that. This is a demo. This is supposed to be a place where we're showing progress, where we're showing what we did, right? And I think that sometimes we hit a brick wall because, well, maybe what we did was less tangible, and that's okay, right? Show what you do have and make sure you're showing progress. Nobody expects you to be completely finished with everything, but they do expect to see that you're working towards that common product goal. Coming at number 4 is discuss what to do next. And I think that this is interesting because sometimes we don't have those discussions here. If we have stakeholders at our presence, we should be having a discussion, right? Have any market circumstances changed? How's the budget looking? Any changes in the team's composition? Any assumptions that have proven to be wrong that we need to pivot and adjust as a result of? I think all of these are questions that we should be asking, but questions that sometimes we forget to ask. And I think that if we ask the right questions, we're going to get the right answer. Coming in at number 5 is adapt the product goal and the product backlog. This is what I was talking about yesterday. Don't be afraid to create a red light, green light report and show, hey, we can add these things in. I mean, we'll accept work even late in a sprint. But the problem is, it'll put other things at risk and it'll move things around. And I'm not saying go ahead and break the boundaries of your sprint and insert new work. I want to be clear. What I'm saying is, if new work comes in, it doesn't matter when it comes in, it'll just be placed as a top priority item in the next sprint. There's no tradesies, but that this is an opportunity for us to adapt and pivot because what we might have had planned for the first item next sprint may no longer be the most urgent item. So we need to make sure we're focused on those urgent items and pivoting as necessary. Number 6, this one I had a question mark by. It says show useful metrics. Now, for me, I'm a big fan of having evidence-based information, right? I'm a fan of that, but I think that If you're constantly focused on metrics, you're focused on output, unless your metrics are really powerful metrics. So let's see where he goes on to say. He talks about feature usage. Love it. This is are features being used as expected? If they're not being used, is it because it's buried? Is it because of poor UX or UI? What are we doing that's preventing people from using the feature to the best of their ability, or is it just something that nobody wants? Is it just lame? Right? We got to figure that out. The second metric that he likes to measure is called the happiness index. Yay, both to the team and the stakeholders. The team can be very happy, but the stakeholders might hate what happened, or vice versa. Both of those are useful inputs, and I think that if we gather that information and we base decisions on that information, it's going to make us all the better. The next one is technical debt. Now, technical debt is a metric that should be continuing to decrease. And I have a whole, oh my goodness, I have a whole presentation I can do just on technical debt alone. But that's another good example to show that technical debt is being reduced each sprint and that we're not just tacking on interest to an already growing problem. So I think that's something we definitely need to keep in mind. Coming at number 7, he says, keep it informal. This is supposed to be lightweight, fun, informal, treat it as such. If you have everybody wear a suit and I'm being exaggerated here, but you could imagine, right? It's not supposed to be this formal decorum, runs a certain way, absolutely this or that. It's meant to be lightweight, fun, mix it up a little bit. I always have music playing when I do demos. I know it sounds crazy, but I do. And we'll turn in a demo or turn down a music, show some features, turn on some music. We encourage people. It's like a dance party. It's a celebration of the things that we've released or released into a pre-production state. Next is mix-up facilitation. Now, this one's interesting. It says here, quote, repeat after me, the Scrum Master is not the default facilitator. I 100% agree, but I feel like the product owner should be. And when I say facilitator, I want to be careful. It doesn't mean they're running the meeting. It just means the product owner is kicking things off, thanking people for being there, talking about all the exciting things that are coming up. It should be a high energy show, and the product owner should be leading the charge. Now, can team members pick up and do some of that? Absolutely. But I definitely don't think the Scrum Master should be. The Scrum Master has other things they should be doing during this demo meeting, which makes things kind of interesting, right? And then finally, he goes into a conclusion piece where he says, don't treat the sprint review just as a demo. Yes, there's so much more to it, right? All these other things were not all about, who goes first and shows what they built. It's important for us to understand that the demo is designed to really be a communication portal. It's designed to be a channel so that we can speak to the people who are stakeholders, it's to people who have interest, and we can make sure that we're building a product or service that's going to meet or exceed their expectations. So this is another great article. So congratulations, Sandra. I like what you're putting together here. If you have a set of articles or an article you'd like for us to read, feel free to reach out to us. Learn more at agiledad.com. We'd love to cover your topic or any other topic. And as always, we encourage you, until next time, stay healthy, stay well, and stay happy. We'll see you again soon. Bye now.